let's look at an HTML Walden. That's this book, Walden, or Live in the Woods. It's available on Project Gutenberg. It's a book from the 19th century. So you can download the HTML for free. And I took that example and I said, well, let's use that to see if we can convert this HTML into a PDF. I just run this very quickly. Why? Because iText can only parse XHTML. And the Project Gutenberg book has like break tags without the closing tag. So what I'm doing here is I'm using software to tidy up the HTML. So is this done yet? No, this go. So run as. Okay, terminated. So in results, I now have Walden HTML. This is XHTML. This is something I can parse. Now, in my examples, I always start with an oops example. That's something goes wrong. I won't show this now, but I will show this example. So, XML Worker, you still have the 5 steps: create a document, create a writer, open a document, close the document, and in between add content. And what we do is XML Worker helper. We get an instance, we parse the HTML, and we say, okay, Walden HTML is the input source. And what we see is, we see that we have created Walden 2. It's a PDF, and we have the HTML in PDF form, and iText even created a table of contents based on the H1, H2, H3 tags. So HTML to PDF, that works very well, and it allows us to explain the pipeline. So this example, parse HTML pipelines, is more or less the same as this very short code sample, but it explains that you first create a CSS resolver. And here with the CSS resolver, we say, don't use default styles. So in Walden HTML, we had like an emphasis strong, we had styles. And here I say, don't use the styles. Then you create an HTML context. And here I say, don't create the bookmarks. So I can really fine-tune every aspect of the HTML. And here I say, well, I'll create a PDF writer pipeline, and it will write stuff to the document and the writer. And I will chain this PDF pipeline to the HTML pipeline. And this HTML pipeline, I will chain it to a CSS resolver pipeline. And then I will create a worker. I will parse the HTML, and I will get another PDF. So it's done, and I have another PDF. And as I said, don't use any default styles. These were pre-tags, and it's not in Courier anymore. These were links. It's not blue and underlined anymore. So what you can do here is you can really tweak these writers and say, for instance, well, that's the wrong example, but you can say, instead of the CSS, the default CSS, use a custom CSS. For instance, Walden CSS. And Walden CSS says, well, all the links, don't make them blue, make them gray. Let's have a look here. So now I have the same document with another CSS, and the links are now in gray instead of blue. Now, this CSS has something special if we look at it. Resources to Walden CSS. It has defined for every paragraph tag, it says font family Louagie. Now, I just entered that there. There is no Louagie font. It doesn't exist. So if you look at the PDF, the resulting PDF, it will look exactly like the other ones. There will be no font Louagie. But what I can do also is fonts. I can say, for instance, create a font provider and do not look for fonts. If you just use the default implementation, iText will spider your system, your server, for the usual the places where it can find fonts, and it will register all those fonts. Now this can take time because it will look on a Windows system, it will look into Windows fonts, and it will parse every font you have and store all the names. If you say XML Worker, don't look for fonts, you can save plenty of time because iText won't spider for fonts, and then you can register fonts. I've done it here hard-coded. That's not a good way to do it, but I've done it anyway because it's simple. And I said, add font substitute. Whenever you're asked for a font named Loagi, replace it by Garamond. And this is the regular italic and bold version of Garamond. So now when I run this example, I get another Walden HTML file, a Walden PDF file in my results. Demo 2. Is that 5? And now you see that it's all in font Garamond. So we were thinking about writing XFA to PDF, but because XFA to PDF was too much work to do it in one time, we thought, well, let's build something else in an intermediate stadium. And we see that now we have customers who really like this functionality and who are really using it. And what we see is that people build like something that is dynamic, but not quite dynamic with forms. But well, let me just show you. Resources, demo 3. For instance, people have data, and those who know the book, the iText book, they know that there's a database with plenty of movies. And for instance, suppose that these are invoice lines or something else. Here it are movies, and this is just plain HTML. My data is saved as HTML, and I have different styles. So let's take a look at these style sheets. Edit with Notepad. I have like something that is in teal, something that is in more blue, and something that is more red and orange. So I have data, I have styles, and I have templates. For instance, for my invoice. So here I have one type where I could put a sender address, an addressee, a date, my content, page X of Y. And maybe I'm building something for different customers, and that's my template for customer A. But customer B, he wants a form in landscape, so with from to address, date, page X of Y, and the content. And now I can use XML Worker and these forms just to fill out the data in any style I want. So create PDF, it's more or less the same as we've done before, but instead of writing to a PDF writer pipeline, I write to an element handler pipeline. And this element handler pipeline will fill out a list of elements. And these elements, you get these elements, these are iText elements that can be added to the document. So these are paragraphs, phrases, chunks, any iText object you can think about. And so when I'm going to run this, the HTML with the movies is going to be parsed, and it will be added to the document on the correct place. So when I run this, let's take a look. This is the oops example, so there's bound to be something wrong. No, wrong. Oh, these are the resources. I have to go to the results. What is wrong with this example? Well, I have my repeating header. I have my footer, page 8 of 9, so the page X of Y. What is wrong with this example? Well, this I don't like. This is a small table that's only 2 rows, and it's cut in 2 here, and it's badly rendered. And here, Denmark, I want to keep this together. Or, for instance, some of the tables, when they are split, the header isn't repeated. So this is the oops example. How are we going to solve this? Well, we are going to do our work anew, and it extends, so this example 6 extends on example 5, on the oops example. And what is different? Not much. Only the create PDF is different. And instead of adding stuff directly to a document and letting iText decide where to put everything, that's convenient, but you see the result isn't always what you desire. Instead of doing that, we'll use a column text and we'll define columns, so set simple column body. Body is the rectangle we defined. Here you should put the data. And we are going to implement some rules. For instance, if a table doesn't fit on a page, put it on the next page. But suppose that it doesn't fit on the next page either, then it's okay to break the table in two. Unless if you break the table in two and you only have 2 rows on this page and the rest of the rows on the next page, that's ugly. If you break the table in two and there's only 2 rows here, well, put the table on the next page anyway. So there's plenty of business logic inside, and the result is no longer an oops result. It's a different color now because I'm using a different style. This is the red and orange style. And you can see now that, well, here Brazil, the iText could have split this table in two, but because it didn't fit, it forwarded the complete table to the next page. Then here we could have put a country name, but we wanted to keep Nepal, and this is a table containing all the movies that were entirely or partially produced in Nepal. We wanted to keep this together, so we forwarded it to the next page. Here, United Kingdom, the table didn't fit the page, so we forwarded it to the next page. The same happened with United States. The table doesn't fit, but it didn't fit on the next page either. So we said, well, maybe it's okay to split it, but we'll repeat the header. So with this functionality, where we combine static acroforms with HTML to PDF, we can now build something like, okay, this is for one customer who likes orange, who has an orange logo, and there's another customer who has a blue logo. Well, we'll use the same code, but with, just let me look, with another style, and stationery that is in landscape. We'll do run as Java application, hub, yeah. And we have now stationary landscape. This is the exact same data, but it's rendered differently because we are in landscape. Instead of putting a table at 100% of the width, I chose 90%. I choose different colors. So using the same code, you can really shape your documents, use different backgrounds, different styles. So this is, well, another step towards XML forms architecture.